Well, everybody, Apple did it. With the release of iPadOS 26, which this iPad is on, Apple has made many significant upgrades to Stage Manager. The first one and the most important in my opinion is that Apple has finally gave Stage Manager to every iPad lineup beyond the M series iPads that can get iPadOS 26. The second is that Apple has significantly upgraded the number of console games beyond 4. You can play on screen simultaneously on Stage Manager, which is why I have these mini console games out, which I will demonstrate shortly. The third thing is that Apple introduced a better way to navigate using Stage Manager when you're playing games than just using the three bubbles at the top in previous iterations of Stage Manager. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to go beyond 4 with the games, and then I'll show you the new gaming navigation method. That was unexpected. Let's do it again. Wait, why can't I see? I can't swipe to see my other games. In the sidebar. Yeah, I could just move this. I can't swipe. I can just do that. And let's see what happens if I turn Stage Manager from Windows Apps to Stage Manager. If that does anything. And it does. So I guess in order to see the sidebar, you have to turn Stage Manager to Stage Manager instead of using Windows Apps. It's weird because it's almost like this new Stage Manager, Windows Apps versus Stage Manager, replaces the little like toggle options where you could just decide if you wanted to use the sidebar or the dock in the old Stage Manager iterations. I don't know exactly what these new options for Stage Manager do, but I'm sure I'm gonna find the answers online. But I do know this is something that you couldn't do in the previous versions of Stage Manager for 16, 17, or 18. You can actually resize the size of the game now, and it looks like you could do that for the bottom as well, but it only seems like you can only slightly expand it outwards before it returns to its original shape, or just expand it outwards to where you just wanted to go full screen. Now I'm just gonna open as many games as I can and see how many games actually stay on the screen, since I haven't done that yet. Alright, I have all 6 games out on screen, and oh my god, this is a horrible way to play games simultaneously. But at least it's a cool demonstration that you can actually do this and have multiple games out on screen at once beyond 4. Honestly, if you have more games out beyond 4 on screen at once, it gets kinda hard to first find the game because you can only see a small little preview outline of it. Secondly, you have to tap the screen multiple times due to the iPad not responding because of game choppiness in order to bring the game up into the foreground so you can play it. Look at this, I literally cannot find all my games because there's just so many games on screen. Well, this is a good time to show you the new navigational system for Stage Manager for gaming, and here it is. It's very Mac-like, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through each of its features to show you what it can do. First, what does this do? I should have figured it would take me to the settings for this game. Time to see what close window does. Alright, so where'd it go? It's in the background, nope. So where's the game? Alright, gotta relaunch it. But that was some good funky music. Because of the sheer number of games I'm attempting to show, it's getting very hard to actually drag them out of the sidebar. Look at this. Like, I have to do multiple swipes, multiple attempts, just to drag each of them out. Time for me to continue showing the new navigational system functions. Alright, so we already did file and e-defense. Now, what's edit do? Edit has a lot of functions, but they all seem to be grayed out and they won't let me touch them to make them work, so I guess they don't work for games. What about format? Alright, I could touch it, and the writing dictation and font has nothing. What about view? That has nothing. What about help? Help is, I guess, where you can look for things, but what about Windows? Windows has a lot of stuff. So now that the window function is the only thing that works for games, it seems like I can finally go down the list. Alright, let's see what minimize does. So minimize just puts the game that you're currently playing in the sidebar, so you can get it back out. Let's see what enter full screen does. Come on, let me get the game out. Alright, let me get another one out. Come on, work with me. God, it's so hard to get my games out. Let's see what center does. Okay, that did nothing. Hold on. Alright, now let's see what center does. Okay, so center just puts the game into the center position of the screen. Now this is really interesting. What does this do left? So left puts the game obviously towards the left angle. What does right do? That does right angle. What does top do? Okay, I think that was a mistake. What does top do? Okay, something's wrong with the top because that's obviously supposed to put the game towards the top. And bottom does obviously put the game at the bottom angle. Top left does top left. Top right does top right. Bottom left does bottom left. Bottom right does bottom right. Alright, let's go to arrange, left and right. Alright, so I guess the active game goes left and then the game behind it goes right. Same thing with right and left. I kind of want more games out here so I can test some more features if they apply to these games. Like, how does full screen look when you have more games open? Okay, that's cool. Alright, time to do bottom right. Alright, I think I've seen enough. I think I want to try to get more of my games out. Alright, so I think I showed all there is to this new stage manager bar. I think I'm gonna do quarters. Oh, So quarters just makes every game go to every corner and go on your screen. Alright, so I think that's about everything that I checked out and that's new with Stage Manager on iPadOS 26. I covered just about everything, or I not only covered everything, except the ones that were grayed out. I do want to show what the grade ones do, so I think I might have to open up other non-game apps to test that. I actually want to see if this works, and it does. I can see all of my games. Okay, so this is cool. If you ever want to see all of your games that you have open on Stage Manager, or this new version of Stage Manager, you just have to open the multitasking background so you can see them that way. Alright, so I think this covers everything about the games in Stage Manager iPadOS 26. I want to see now what happens if I do this whole navigational bar with non-game apps to see if they actually function the same as during the games. But yeah, this whole new navigational bar controlling the games in Stage Manager is really nice to have beyond the previous way you could control the games on the other Stage Managers. Alright, so I think I'll get out YouTube. And of course I want to see how small I can make YouTube. I can make it very small now. Awesome. Alright, let's pull down the bar. See what YouTube has. YouTube setting, close window. Nothing for edit that much. Font, view, windows. You know what? Let's see if I do Windows, what would happen. Enter full screen. Alright, enter full screen. What else? Bottom. I'll need another app open, so Twitch, just to demonstrate this too. I'm not going to spend too long on this just because I've already done this with games and it seems like this new navigational system works the same way for apps as it does for games. Alright, I'm just going to make YouTube small and put it to the right. And then, hold on. I want to drag out another app. Put that to the left. Then drag out YouTube again. And then I'm going to see what happens if I touch quarters. See, that's cool. That's really cool. That's really nice to have. Look at this. This has so much functionality now to the iPads and multitasking. But I want to try this with more apps. So I'm going to get out Zoom. Alright, any new options? Oh, look at this. New window and show all windows. Now this wasn't there when we were playing the games, but that's interesting because it seems like every different app you have open has different options for how it controls via the navigation bar. I wonder if there's a way I can actually resize these any smaller, because my lord, this is going to be hard to play. I guess not. Okay, well, yeah, I don't want to play like this. Actually, you know what? Maybe if I go down to search and then go to settings, and then I'll see. Maybe there's a way I can actually make the window smaller. Spray and brightness. Nope. Okay. Yes. Ooh, what's this? Oh, this is just the stage manager functions and telling you what they do. Okay, so I think this is telling me that Stage Manager is where you can set the sidebar. You could switch between apps, and then Window Apps is just where you could have a window open, an app open so you could work on it. Well, I can't figure out if you can make these games smaller or not. So, I guess I'm just gonna play them because I haven't played them yet. I won't be talking that much during this part because I want you all to experience what the games sound like when you play them simultaneously. This is gonna be a wonderful choppy mess trying to play all these games simultaneously. Listen, I go have to drag my time my Porsche in pants because I can get it from the top or the bottom. That was actually very hard to do just because my time at Porsche was in a corner, so I couldn't really drag it. It's not only actually kind of crazy that I have all these games open, and then Bugsnax is actually doing pretty good.
Re-rolling? Greetings! I am Lisbeth Megafig, intrepid explorer, seeker of the unknown, hunter of undiscovered creatures. And she's a real charmer. Ekabil, stop. What? The people deserve to know. You're the only one who gets to know. I'm Lisbeth, and I have made an incredible discovery here on Snaketooth Island.
Honestly, this is freaking cool with that. We have these options where we could just put these games into whatever angle that we want.
Well underway.
Freaking cool.
What draws us so far away from civilization? What discovery could tempt us to start a new life in the untamed wild? Bugsnax. They're the most delicious thing in the world. You haven't lived until you've tried one. It's true. Half bug.
That's your new lead? Another monster hunt? Do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused me? I had to recall 500,000 papers and give a public apology. All because your Grumpfoot turned out to be a lost football mascot. We've been over this. It doesn't matter how eye-catching your articles are if I'm stuck cleaning up your sloppy work. You're already out of second chances. And now you're gonna follow Elizabeth to some grump-forsaken island? Elizabeth Megafig is either a con artist or a lunatic! Remember that whole mess with Grumplantis? This Bug Snacks thing is just her latest delusion.
Okay, time to play some My Time at Pusha. Oh my lord, it's so difficult to actually move this to where I can get up to play. But there we go. Now I can play it, hopefully.
I think I'll go talk with the research center first. They might think of something.
We're coming up on Porsche.
Whoa! That looks beautiful!
Hi!
Presley.
Ah, good to see you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
wonder what it's like.
No one's been working there.
Yeah.
And here we are, your workshop. This place sure has seen some wear and tear. Now then, here's a letter from your... Here's the workshop handbook of your past. As much as I'd like to give you a builder...
Got it. Tomorrow.
Anyway, I'll leave you...
Bye, Presley. Thanks for... Oh, my head hurts. I didn't sleep.
Wait, why won't it let me exit out of options? Like I'm tapping it, it won't work. Yeah, I guess I have to like restart this. Okay, hopefully this game actually works this time. But oh my god, this is gonna be tough trying to get all these games out again.
Back in the fight.
And look at this, it looks like I'm gonna be playing this game with no audio. Oh, that was horrible lag right there. In the cutscene. Oh my lord. The game is actually pretty stable. Like, there's not a lot of frame drops or anything. Hey, what? What? Oh, did you see that black screen for a minute that this game made? Okay, well, it'll take a minute to load. I think it's just taking a while to load because of all the games, so it's just super slow in loading. Now give it like maybe 10, 15 more seconds. Okay, so I don't think it's loading at all. So I'm just gonna move on to another game. Alright everyone, well I think I'm gonna end this demo of me showing you all the new features from this new stage manager on iPadOS 26 here. If I can find out how to actually make the games smaller, then I will, and I'll attach them to the end of this video. Just so it's easy to find and you don't have to search for it by watching through this entire video. Hey everyone, so I found out something pretty cool. So if I go to settings and I go down to display, then I can do something pretty cool that I didn't think I could. And I'll show you now. Check this out. Now isn't this cool? We can finally get games to their smallest window size, at least for iPadOS 26. Now, I don't know why this happened, but I do have a theory. My theory is that because all the games that I'm actually showing you that I can resize are iPhone specific games, meaning that these are games that were made for the iPhone originally back in 2000 in the 2010s eras. So they're made for 4.9 inch screens or 4 inch screens, meaning that to actually play console games like this, it just needs to be iPhone specific games. It doesn't seem like there's a way you can actually get iPad specific games to that small size. So any iPhone specific game that you had, like during the 2010s, can be resized to this size. You know what? I wonder if I play around in the settings and then I just go to display zoom, I wonder if I can actually get these games to be smaller, because as you can see they're kind of overlapping. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, and I'm gonna see if I can. The verdict is in, and yes I can. Look at this. Display zoom, more space. And by more space, I mean every single console game and app on the iPad screen has a lot more space to it. And it's smaller. And that's just not me saying it. I mean, look at how much space these games have. Like, look at this. This is almost like, what, 25% the space of the default display zoom? Like, you can't beat that. Look at this. This is just so freaking cool. I can't wait to play 4 games like this. And in fact, I will for a little bit, so enjoy without me talking. You know what? This is so freaking cool and exciting that I'm doing this, that I'm gonna add one more game to see how this plays. What? This is blocking out the 4 games. That sucks. But at least you can do it this way if you want like a combination of iPhone games plus iPad specific games out. Like, look at this. I am literally playing 4 games at once, simultaneously, without them being blocked by any other game window or overlapping. Oh my god, this is the true power of Stage Manager right here, I think. And why Stage Manager was created, to finally give iPads a way to truly multitask and play games simultaneously. So this is basically just a little extra video trying to clear up some things, such as when I said that this had more space to it, via the more space toggle. It literally makes everything on your iPad, such as games, notes, messages, etc., have more space than the default viewing method on your iPad. Now I'm just showing you the default way of how to get to the background apps, and I'm opening this game to show you that yes, that is the default way, but check out what happens when you switch on Stage Manager. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Get my games out, now do it. So these are the new gaming previews, and then everything else is the default way of how you normally would do the background apps. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you what the Windows toggle for the new Stage Manager navigational system looks like when you have iPhone designed apps. So now I'm going to enter full screen. Full screen just makes the iPhone design app bigger, I guess. And now I'm going to do center. Now for this one, I'm going to do left first. And then I'm gonna do right, and now I'm gonna do top. Oh, top makes it bigger. Okay, so I'm gonna do bottom, and I'm gonna do top right. It's interesting how some of these angles make the iPhone design apps bigger or smaller. Now I'm gonna do left and right. Alright. And now I'm gonna do right and left. Now I'm gonna do the top and bottom. Yep, made it bigger. And then I'm gonna do bottom and top. Also made it bigger. And now I'm just gonna do quarters. That covers everything in the navigation bar for the iPhone games. Now I'm gonna show you what the three little bubbles at the top of each game means. Now the red bubble means close a window. And now I closed it, and as you can see I can't find it. So what I have to do is I have to exit out the game and restart the Final Fantasy 3 games, and then I can do it that way. Out again from the sidebar. Now the yellow icon is minimize. And you can see as I drag it out of the sidebar, so it just minimizes again into the sidebar. And the green icon is full screen. So I guess this is what full screen looks like for tiny iPhone games. Since as it was originally designed for little screens, so it's not going to get much bigger full screen. Okay, I closed out the iPad specific game, so I just have to relaunch it. And now I'm gonna go full screen. I wonder what would happen if I use the games to go up. Oh, okay. So it blocks out the time and date of the iPad. And when you move it from slightly covering it up or from the top, it reappears. It looks like it just works if you get like right on top of the time and date where it disappears, and then once you get under it a little, it repairs. Does it work for this? And it does. So that's kind of cool. So you can actually hide the time and date in the screen record by just doing it this way, playing it this way, playing games this way. Oh, I got an idea. Does it work with quarters? Like, can it hide the... it can't. It can't hide it with quarters. Alright, final part of this video. I want to show more of what it looks like to go full screen when you have an iPhone specific app and what it looks like. I'm just gonna close some of these things because I really don't need these for this demonstration. Alright, so let's check out how full screen looks. Oh, it almost matches how like iPad specific games look when I zoom out in their smallest window. But let's check out one more game. Thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to reveal what's beyond iPadOS 26 for Stage Manager.